This is black Yonex REGNA, I think. Here we go. REGNA 98. I don't think it's sold in the United States. So I don't know much about this racket. I know that Harry on the tennis spin has done some videos or another about this racket. Anyway, so I'll go ahead and get it strung up with RPM Blast Orange 17 gauge. Yonex both sides facing up. He's going with 50 pounds of tension. He's waiting for me in the parking lot, so kind of don't have all the time in the world to do this. I've strung this racket a couple times before already, so I've never done a video yet because every time I was always in a rush, so I don't want him to wait in the parking lot for too long. But basically took a couple more minutes to set up the video tripod just now. And this RPM Blast string is coiling up on me. Trying to fold it up, get it cut in half. So I like to cut these ends up. Cut these ends in an angle, and then go to the halfway point and cut the midpoint in an angle too. Boy, I could really feel that the string is really greasy. The grease is almost rubbing off my hands. I had to kind of like run through my fingernails to straighten out these strings a little bit so they're easier to handle. A little bit straight. Again, getting my hands off greased up. They're still not straight. They're still coiled. So I don't want to mess with it too much because then it's almost like manually pre-stretching the string. This other end needs an angle cut. No, it's already angled. Now this REGNA racket, 98 square inch. I don't know much else about it. I'll get it weighed and actually no, I don't have to. I'll show you what the previous specs that I measured on it is. Because they're right here on the label. There we go. Okay, he previously had the RPM Team string, 335 grams strong, balance of 32.4, and swing weight of 331. So not a bad swing weight. It's very playable. 331. I'm currently playing at under 330, about 336, 338. He's saying these strings from the Tennis Warehouse is on sale for like 10 bucks. I don't know, I haven't seen it. If that's the case, I might go and buy me a couple packs, even though I still have 2 big reels left. I've adjusted my 12 and 6 o'clock posts again so they sit further out, therefore there's more room right next to it for the second main string to clamp without it bending too much. I mean, it still bends a little bit, but it's much better than before. Malagabee. You might notice that my base clamp, this base clamp over here, slides a little bit slower with some difficulty. That's because the mounting hardware underneath, I've previously shaving them down a bit, like up to about maybe half a millimeter with my angle grinder. So it technically mounts tighter, because remember before I had an issue with the base clamp slipping. So before my grub screw part came, I was actually messing with grinding the height of the base clamp mount underneath down so that it will press against the turntable much tighter. To a certain extent that works, but then it results in a more abrasive movement along this rail or track. This racket has grommet hole skips at grommet hole number 8, both top and bottom, and that's it. Those are the only skips for the mains. Near perfect, no tugging needed. start the crosses. Start weaving from the third cross down, and I go over the first main string that I encountered first. For some reason, this works better when I go to weave the other crosses. I don't know how to explain it right now, because all I know is that if I start weaving under the main string, then it's not as easy for me to weave all the rest. So if anybody knows why that is, please explain it to me, because I've had another viewer trying to get me to do something similar. He says blah blah blah. I had a hard time understanding him, and then he said because your first cross ends up like having a hard weave. I can't really comprehend what he meant by that. Like, in his comment, he was saying like right side, left side, and that I get all confused because that video that he commented on, through editing, I actually reversed it. So in the end, I don't know what he meant by right side or left side, because it's all reversed. You know what I mean? What he's saying is actually the opposite. I need to get a longer corkscrew, because I like this crimped portion, a weakened portion of the string inside the starting clamp right now to actually end up further inside the string bed, instead of being like up against the frame or against the grommet, because it's already weakened. So the way it is right now is only like, you know, an inch away, but then you gotta understand it needs to bend around so it needs certain distance. I like the one that AM Stringing uses. He uses a longer one, like this one, and longer and thicker too. So maybe if anybody has one he doesn't use and want to send me one, feel free to reach out. And then he asked, how come I don't start pulling tension on my first string? Instead, I pull from the second string. Well, that's just how I do it. Because when I start pulling on my first string, I was criticized by some people that I shouldn't pull on the start knot, which I understand. That's definitely not good. Anybody that uses this Regina racket, how do you like it? I don't know what spec is supposed to be, other than the actual spec that I measured from last time. .31 swing weight, 32.4 balance. How much does it weigh? Shit, I'll block, I can't see. Let me tie this off first. $335 grams. Strong. Is that good or bad? That's on the heavy side, yeah, because normal rackets are 300 grams unstrung, and with the strings you're talking about 315 to 320. But then, yeah, with overgrip, that adds another 7 grams and a dampener, 2-3 grams. I just fast forward this portion since it's gonna be quiet and boring. Let's fast forward it to the end before I tie it off, I guess. Or maybe I'll just let it be. where I put my label. I'm printing the label in a little bit. I recently cut my finger open. See? So it's hard to actually string these polyesters. Kind of hard to see against my orange shirt. Just wants to smile. Too many smiley faces. Perhaps I should have straightened them much earlier. This will have to be for now.